mwanzo Bwana akatupa jukumu, tuwe wanafunzi wake, tuwe wavuvi wa watu, kondoo wa Bwana wasipotee. Ni jambo la heri kutilia maanani bila hofu yaliyonenwa na Baba wetu. Tuwe wakili wema, aliyenena atarejea. Toka mwanzo Bwana akatupa jukumu, tuwe wanafunzi wake, tuwe wavuvi wa watu, kondoo wa Bwana wasipotee. Ni jambo la heri kutilia maanani bila hofu yaliyonenwa na Baba wetu. Tuwe wakili wema, aliyenena atarejea. Piga hatua ya imani, kuwa jasiri wake Kristo, pendana bila ubaguzi, mfinyanzi arejee. Ni kwa muda kitambo, mwalike kwa sauti, mavuno mengi mengi sana, mbingu ikufurahie. Piga hatua ya imani.
Our choir members, we want to thank you so much. Our choir members, we want to thank you so much for blessing us with those pieces of music. We are happy that you came. We want to thank you so much for blessing us. We want to thank each and every individual who has been a blessing to someone. And at this particular moment, I want to ask, who have you blessed since this camp came? Number two, who have you touched? Have you ever shared what you have learned with someone? Have you ever whispered a statement to your neighbor, to your child, to your family, that I have been blessed by one or two? I have been blessed by the message from so and so. There is a lot of noise, and I want to request that we can relax. Let us give silence for these few minutes, that we can grow together to the level that God wants us to grow. Who is remembering yesterday's message? At a particular moment like this, we had a message yesterday. What was that message entitled? Do you still remember something of yesterday? The simple-minded people. People who are just fools. That was the conclusion of the matter. And we realized that if we live foolishly, childishly, it means there are things that are lacking in us. If you meet with the elder of a church, walking with a stick, a flower, just showing everybody that I have a flower, you might be confused. Is this man normal or mad? Any child can do anything. And a child-mind Christian is not even afraid to do anything. He is not afraid to abuse people. He is not afraid to come to the church late. He is not afraid even if he fails to give an offering. He is not even afraid when he gossips, because that is his nature. We don't blame other people when we see them doing what they are doing. Have you ever seen someone at the church or a Christian saying, "Where unijui"? Have you seen that person? Having stayed with elder for 1 year, 5 years, "Where unijui"? Having lived with a husband, with a wife for 10, 20 years, he tells you, "My sister, you don't know me." Actually, if you tell me you don't know me, I am afraid, because I don't know what next, what will follow, what will come up. Sometimes we sit in the church boards and we are discussing issues, and someone stands at the church board and says, "Nyinyi hamujanijua." And from that point, when you see such a person, stop everything, commit that person to the hands of God. That's a dangerous person. Hello? In the choir, someone who stands at the choir and say, "Hamujanijua." At that point, because hamujanijua, the devil has entered that person. He is no longer himself. He is ruled by another spirit. And when another spirit overtakes you, hapo ndio unaona mtu anaongea as if hata anataka kukimbia. Anafura kama cobra yule anataka kumeza watu. Because he is no longer himself or herself, the devil is now ruling. When you see your son telling you, Daddy, haujanijua. Recently I saw one third-year student in Kapsabet, a Christian, from a background, Christianity background. The parents are good church leaders. And one Sabbath morning, the father said, Msichana yetu, today we are requesting that we go together to the church. And then the daughter said, Nyinyi hamunijui. And then the mother was shocked because he just made a statement publicly. And then when the mother just wanted to rebuke this child, the child asked the mother, follow my history. Which school did you take me to from class 1? The secondary school I attended, and now the university I'm attending. I left this child long time ago. It was only opportunity to remind you that I am no longer in this church. When someone tells you, you don't know me, and it is somebody you have been working with, pastor, even if it is your elder, call for prayer session because you are dealing with a dangerous animal. Hello? When your child tells you, you don't understand me, just be cautious. Be careful. We attended Bugema University with one of my friends who was taking theology course. And the man in the third year, Bugema University taking theology. In third year, he decided to come back to see the family members. We prayed to him, said, Pastors, I'm leaving, I'm going for a weekend. And the guy traveled back home. Because the roads were not so good at that time, he started from Bugema University early in the morning, but he arrived in Eldoret at around 6 in the evening. Went to the supermarket, buy some stuff to take to his children and also the wife. Reaching home, Simat is where he's coming from. He decided now that I'm going home. Reaching home, the wife was not there. Coming with a staff to your family. Having gone to school for 8 months, reaching home, the wife is not there. So he just dropped this stuff outside, went to his brother. He saw the lights there. My brother, I've gone to my house. There is nobody. Then the brother said, I don't know even me. But where is the key to my house? I hear that it is in your brother's house, the next brother. But my brother, where is my children and my wife? And the guy said, where have you been for all these years? Where you left, go and collect there. So then the man was shocked. Tired because he's from Uganda. Tired because of traveling. Now another shock. The wife, the children are not there. So he decided, he cooled his temperature, went to his brother's home again. Another brother, oh, my brother, good enough. He met with the in-law. My in-law, Bariako, how are you? I've gone to my house and my wife is not there. Then the in-law said, your wife left. To where? I'm not aware. I just heard that there was a quarrel between her and one of your in-laws. So, but where is my key? He picked the key on Friday. He slept well the night. I don't know whether he slept or no. But the night was over. Sabbath, he went to the church comfortably. Whether he took food or no food, the day gone, Sabbath was very long to him. After Sabbath, now the real man started coming up. The real man. Not now a pastor, but a real Adam. He went back to his elder brother at 4. My brother, yes, it is Sabbath, but I want to know the history of my wife. Who is aware? As our elder brother, give me an explanation. The brother said, I don't know. So this young man went back to his house, took a nap for some few minutes. At night, he was thinking on what to do, waiting for a miracle to happen, that the wife can be back and the children. Let us read the book of Job, chapter 42. The book of Job, chapter 42, is a conclusion of the story of Job. And majority of us, we know Job as the one of the people who suffered and went through several persecutions, challenges, the child, the wife, rejection of the community, the society. And I love this man known as Job. At a certain level, he asked God, my God, prepare to answer my questions. If I was Job, if there is someone I enjoy his conversation with God, is Job. And Job could not hide his pains. He could not hide his frustrations. He could not hide all the challenges that he faced. He will face God head on and say, God, I need an explanation. Why didn't you leave me to die before even I was born? And he could make a statement, cursed is the day that I was conceived. Live alone, living, surviving, marrying, having children, cursed is the day that I was born. There are times in life that you curse even your day when you were born. And Job will say, I wish even my mother could have finished me before I was born. Sometimes this world is not friendly. Hello? Sometimes the environment we are living in is not encouraging, is not pleasing. But what can we do? We have to stand and face the challenge as it comes, because you are not alone. God has promised that I will be with you until the end of age. Hallelujah. God will promise that I will stand with you. Whether you are facing challenges, whether you are going through thin and dark forest, God is there. He will stand with you. He will fight for you. Some of us, our background is too bad even to be mentioned. When you look back to where you have come from, you have suffered too much. The family you were born in was so desperate that your survival was also desperate. Your schooling was also desperate. Getting married to a desperate man. Getting married to a desperate husband. Beginning a life that is very hard and very desperate. But in all these challenges, hello? Bwana mwenzako uliza, ulitoka kona gani? Ilikuwaje penye ulitoka? Uliza tu yule mwenzako. Some of these young children even don't understand that the family you came from, when they see you driving now, they are not aware that the struggle you have gone through and the suffering that you have gone through, because you have not shared with them. They are just born in a very good house, big one, but the village where you are coming from, that mud house. You remember that one? The grass one, whereby there was no iron sheets. Lakini siku hizi ukiwa town unajifanya ulizaliwa America. Nowadays, when you sit and drive a Prado, you forget that even your parents even don't have pair of shoes. Your parents, leave alone your brothers, your own parents. Some of us even we fear to stand with our parents and walk with them in the village. Wakipiga simu, mama unataka nini? You think your mother needs your money, he needs you. Hello? Sometimes your family members are not looking for money, they are looking for a companion, they are looking for their son, they are looking for their daughter. Na wengine tumefinywa na wake zetu hata kutembelea wazazi ni mulima. Lakini umejaza ndugu zake na dada zake kwa nyumba. Wa kwenu ni mzigo. Wakifika wanafungiwa virako haraka waende. Ana kwamba huyo mke ndiye alikuzalia mume. Hello? Kuna kitu nimesema kweli? When is your last time that you took a journey to your village? You are only going to the village for funerals. You are almost known for funerals. Gari yako ikionekana ndio inaenda kubeba watu kusindikiza kwenda mochari na kurudi. When will they see you going there when you are smiling for a worship on Sabbath? Because that is the church that made you to be where you are today. When you are abroad, when you never even had shoes, you are just coming barefooted. Nakakinyasa karefu, those days when you could not even understand yourself. But nowadays, because God has uplifted you to a certain level, ukanyaka ushago, wanaita ushago, is a dream. You are only known in the city, but you are not known back to the village. Obama, when he wanted to be the president, he came back to Gogelo. Hello? Kuna kitu nimesema kweli? When Obama was to become United States of America president, he came back to his roots. Then he could now tell the Americans, I came from Africa. Why do you hide your identity? Hello? Why do you hide your shame? Maybe your book is needed by individuals somewhere so that they can make a difference in their lives. It might be your book that people are waiting to read so that they can change their future and their destiny because you have actually covered your book for long. Open it so that others can read and they can make a difference in their lives. Job 42, number 5 and number 6. Job will say, I have only been hearing of God. I have only been hearing the news about God. I have always been hearing what people are talking about God. And actually I know, even in the church, there are people who have news about God, but they don't know God. There are children who are in the church, but they don't understand the church. Hello? There are members who are baptized by Pastor so and so. They only remember being baptized, but they don't remember the time they met with God. Hello? Am I coming home? There are people, when you ask them, my brother, my sister, what is your experience with God? Watakuambia, Mungu amenifanyia. But when we wait for what God has done for them, He cannot explain, He cannot share. That is why we are saying, I will go. Hello? I will go. Before you go, you have to do what? To grow. Before you tell people about Christ, you have to have met with Christ first, have an experience with Him, that when you go around, people can smell that you have been with Christ. Unfortunate, many Adventists don't have an experience with Christ. They only have an experience with doctrines. Hello? We only know. Sisi tunachunga sabato. Tulibatizwa kwa maji mengi. So what? Kanisa letu ni la masalio. Masalio ya usengenyi. Hello? So because we are a remnant of gossip, remnant of rejection, remnant of disappointment. I wish we can be remnant of truth. Hallelujah. I wish we can be remnant of presenting and giving hope to the perishing world. I wish we can be remnant who have had an experience with Christ and we can stand and say, at this particular moment, I had an experience with Christ. Jacob is an example. When he met with Christ, the whole night he wrestled with Christ. If you have never wrestled with Christ, you have not had an experience with Christ. If you have never prayed more than 10 hours, struggling, searching yourself in and out, you are still just in Babylon. Come back. Realize yourself so that you don't talk about God, but you talk about God whom you have had an experience with. So that you don't just talk of God who saves people, but you talk of a God who has saved you individually. And my question tonight and this evening is, have you met with Christ? Do you talk of an experience with God or an experience of God with other people? That's why when people stand, they can say, oh, tuliambiwa hadithi moja kutoka Murang'a, hadithi moja kutoka Uganda, hadithi moja kutoka Kisii, yako ni gani? Watu wa Mungu wa mjambo, kama muko hebu nyosha mkono yenu. Have you met with God? Or you are only hearing news about who? And let me tell you, my friends, people who have not met with God are hypocrites, pretenders. Even their walking style, you know them. How they hold their Bibles, they have their style. Even how they are adding on the lesson, even when they have no content, only to be seen by hands. They are the ones who are disturbing the teachers because sisi ndio tulianza kanisa, hawa wajuaji. Hii kwaya, wakati hii kuwa, sisi ndio tulifanya nini? It's not about who started the choir, it's about who has experienced Christ in the choir. Hello? It's not about how many years you have stayed in the church, it's about how long and how close you are to your God. I may come to the church even yesterday, and that coming of mine yesterday is more powerful than yours of 35 years down the line. One of my elders, just 2-3 weeks ago, one of my elders, who was a district coordinator last year, before I was transferred to that district, this year they had some disagreement. People brought their animals as offering. And unfortunately, this man is a constructor. He's doing construction, he's building and doing God's business to sustain himself and his family. And the chairman of camp meeting is a retired teacher who has served this church and this country for long. And unfortunately, this man this year is a camp coordinator. So the coordinator came with a sheep as an offering. And when we were selling this sheep, this man, who is a constructor, an elder last year and a coordinator, bought this. And 2 weeks ago, we had a small Sabbath school that we are doing construction. And when the team, the construction committee met to choose a constructor, he was not given an opportunity. A reason based on the committee members, even me, I was not there in that committee. And the following day, not even aware of what was happening, the man was coming with his sheep. Pastor, nimerudisha. Oh, And the son who was bringing it, because the man was behind, I asked him, whose sheep is this? This is for Moses so and so. I prayed for the boy and he left. 2 hours down the line, the man comes. Pastor, I have seen that, let me return this. Why? You know, there are a lot of stories. And I told him, I am not a businessman. I am a pastor receiving and selling church property, not people's properties. Number 2, when the sheep was brought, it was no longer for that man, it is God's. And he tells me, you see, when it is in my compound, I am not seeing the church, I am seeing that man. An elder, district coordinator, but God is far away from him. So I told him, okay, leave your sheep. Let me call the church board so that we can deal with you. And he realized things are not going well. He came and took his sheep. People who have not met with God, they are looking at people, they are not looking at who? Have you met with God, or you only hear news about God? Have you had an experience with God? Have you had an encounter, personal encounter with God? Or you just hear that others are meeting with God, others have a miracle with God, so and so prayed and this happened? We need to have personal encounter and touch with Christ so that he can make a difference in our lives. When Job met with God, he could confess his personal recommitment. I have only been hearing of you, O God. And now my own eyes have done what? I have been hearing, but now I can do what? Mulisoma hiyo ama muliona tu ama mulisikia nikisema. Have you ever seen God? Have you ever met with God? Have you had any experience with him that when you was troubled somewhere, you only decided this one is not for the elder, this one is not for the pastor, this one is between me and who? And let me challenge you at this particular level. This church was built for people who are disappointed by the world, but you can run to this church so that you can have fellowship and relation with your God. When everyone is busy in his business, everyone is busy in his office, just come to this church alone and find ample time with your God. Either on a weekday, either early on Sabbath at 5 in the morning or 6, when people are busy sleeping, when people are busy doing their businesses, pretend and bring yourself to this church. This is the place to meet with your God. Unfortunate Adventist, when you come to the church and pastor is not there, hakuna mutu. When you come and leaders of prayer are not there, hakuna mutu. If you are 2 or 3, you start calling. Nani yako? Tuko wawili. But you cannot even pray. You just want to wait for masses. You just want to wait for people to come so that you can say, tumekuwa wengi, tumekuwa 10, tumekuwa 20. There are blessings that will not come on masses. It comes on individual, fighting, struggling, wrestling with God. And my brother, Elphas, on that Sunday morning, having decided and thought in his mind, what will I do? My wife is not there, I'm supposed to go back to school. My children are not there, and I am supposed to go back to school. He went to the neighborhood, and he requested the neighbor, I have come to my family on Friday, and my wife is not there. My children are not there. Help me, assist me. What do you want to do? He says, I want an answer. I demand for an answer. And the neighbor says, go and meet your brother he can give you some explanation. But the news I have, the wife of your brother quarreled with your wife. So just go and ask what happened. And this young man, pastor, already was having his knife ready for his job. He tells the neighbor, Mzee, anything can happen at any time. He went to his younger brother, my brother, do you have any news about my wife? The brother said, I don't know, but I heard that they quarreled with your in-law. So just go and meet your brother. He can assist you. He went to his brother, met the brother and said, my brother, you cannot be enjoying your wife while my wife is not there. The brother said, who was the watchman of your wife? And the wife of this man was just walking, doing some his businesses that morning somewhere closer to the house. And the brother left this man standing, and he just told him, fanya ile unafikiria. It never took long, 5 minutes, and the wife was killed by this man. And the man disappeared for 2 days. The third day, he went to the police. He was taken to court, 2 years. He was released. He is now working as a teacher in Eldoret. Ministry finished. Ministry forgotten. Why? Because of lack of an experience. With who? Why? Number two, because people knew that this man is angry, but he was not assisted. There are people who can do a lot of big things because they don't find someone to share their pains with. There are people who can do a lot of disappointment and bad things because they have not been listened to. There are people, even when your child is found pregnant and you have realized that this young girl is pregnant, what will you do? Some of us, when you realize that your daughter is pregnant, because you want to avoid shame from the church, from the relatives, you will run to the hospital just to flush. Some of us, when you realize your daughter is just pregnant because you want to avoid and protect the name of the family, you chase your daughter so that people can know that you are dangerous. Recently, my daughter, 2 years ago, we used to share and talk with her. And when she was pregnant, I realized earlier than even the mother. And I called my daughter, Mercy, I have seen you are not okay. Buddy, you know me. Me? I know myself. I said, my daughter, things are not well with you. No! And she pretended, I want to go back to Form 4. I told the mother, check this daughter well. Let us take her even for test. No, you are not shida. The mother took good money, buy a box, uniform, and many other things, only to be disappointed at the desk that your daughter is pregnant. And my wife jumping up, disappointed, discouraged the school she is teaching, now trying to protect the name at school. She said, I don't want even to see her. And I told her, whatever has happened, it has happened. My daughter, you still belong to me. The way you are, whether you are pregnant, relax. I will support you until you give birth. The mother was up. Everybody rejected her, even the boyfriend. But I said, my daughter, wesa tu pole pole, chunga mtoto, tutakusukuma. While you are furious, while you are angry, you cannot change anything. Thousands of people are dying because they are not supported, they are not taken care of, because you want to protect the name of the family, because you want to be known when Simba aliyekufa. Because whether your daughter is chaste to your mother-in-law, whether she goes to your relatives, she will remain your daughter. And at the particular moment when the world is rejecting this girl, when the church is rejecting this girl, when the boyfriends are rejecting this girl, that is the moment he or she wants someone to stand with. Na hapo ndio watu wa Mungu wanaonekananga. Hapo ndio majambazi, pretenders and hypocrites wanafanya nini? Mungu atusaidie that we can be helpers of our brothers and sisters. May God help us that we can carry the burdens of others who are surrounding us, that we can share our shoulders for people who are mourning, that we can share our shoulders with people who are disappointed and discouraged and rejected, that we can give them room to relax and reflect on where they have come from. Is there someone tonight who says, God, help me to see you and understand you, that I can walk with you in these last days? Is there someone who feels that in one way or another he has been rejected and he wants a place to hide in Christ? You can stand so that we can pray with you. And I always say, don't stand because people are standing. Stand because you know why you are standing. Sometimes you have been in the church for long, but you have never had an experience with Christ. But in such meetings and in such a particular moment, it is your opportunity to make a commitment, to make a difference, to realize yourself that you can come back to God for revival and reformation. Let us pray.
Shuhudia yale yaliyo kweli kwake, vumilia kwake Kristo, mwendo upesi mwangani, yasitujie majuto baadaye. Shikana mikono wazee kwa vijana, lengo letu ni moja, kwa imani twaweza. Ishara Bwana arudi, tushikilie yaliyo mema. Shuhudia yale yaliyo kweli kwake, vumilia kwake Kristo, mwendo upesi mwangani, yasitujie majuto baadaye. Shikana mikono wazee kwa vijana, lengo letu ni moja, kwa imani twaweza. Ishara Bwana arudi, tushikilie yaliyo mema. Piga hatua ya imani, kuwa jasiri wake Kristo, pendana bila ubaguzi, mfinyanzi arejee, ni kwa muda kitambo, mwalike kwa sauti. Mavuno mengi mengi sana, mbingu ikufurahie. Piga hatua ya imani, kuwa jasiri wake Kristo, pendana bila ubaguzi, mfinyanzi arejee, ni kwa muda kitambo, mwalike kwa sauti. Mavuno mengi mengi sana, mbingu ikufurahie. Piga hatua ya imani, kuwa jasiri wake Kristo, pendana bila ubaguzi, mfinyanzi arejee, ni kwa muda kitambo, mwalike kwa sauti. Mavuno mengi mengi sana, mbingu ikufurahie. Piga hatua ya imani, kuwa jasiri wake Kristo, pendana bila ubaguzi, mfinyanzi arejee, ni kwa muda kitambo, mwalike kwa sauti. Mavuno mengi mengi sana, mbingu ikufurahie.